2 minutes early. That's because my intro's a little bit short, guys and girls, but we're working on it. Me and Dermot, we're getting it together, but welcome to Thfc Women Till I Die. And today, you know what I'm going to be talking about? Germany. Germany, a fantastic footballing nation, men and women. They've won the World Cup twice. Not only am I 2 minutes early, they've banged in 2 World Cup titles in their history. Back to back, I must add, 2003 and 2007. They won it. But since then, they've seen a little decline this year. And like throughout the years, they did win the Olympic gold. So they are doing well. And they've had one other title, So they're a team that's, right, they're in transition, I would say, right, because they've got a lot of young starlet players, and I'll be talking about them later. But first of all, let me introduce the chat, because I like my chat because it gets me going. Yes. So in my chat so far, we've got Jim Boxall. Woo! Spurs till I die. Yes, you are. Morning, Elly. Hope you're well with a kiss. I'll send the kiss back to you. I hope you don't get too jealous, Kate. Right. Then we've got my niece, Drula. Woo! Good morning. Let's get this show pop and see what I did there. All right, Jim? Yes, because I'll tell you about her later, but she's a fantastic player. Alexandra Pop. Brilliant, brilliant player. Drula, no, Kate. Good morning, ladies from Carl Simpson and everyone in the chat. Good morning, Carl. I'm looking forward to your jokes today. Obviously not the clockerel clock, whatever, when you put that in, that makes Dermot laugh. Right, then we've got Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Morning, Elly. Morning, all in the chat. Then we've got some people talking to each other. Drula saying, morning all. My daughter's joined us. Lovely. Sophia, love hearing what you have to say. Yeah. You know what? Normally I'm telling Sophie off, but she's a good girl. But, some kids you have to tell them off sometimes. Then we've got Hotspur Sam. First time I'm seeing you, Hotspur Sam. So very good welcome to you. Good morning, everybody. Yes. And then we have Carl Simpson again saying, morning, Kate. And then we have the next one, Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. That's our Kate. Brilliant show she's got, Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Get over to there, subscribe. She's got over 100 subscribers now, so she's doing brilliant. Morning, Sophia, with a kiss. There you go, Sophie. You see, you've got admirers already. And then we've got our beautiful, sultry niece in Drula. Hi, cuz. And Sophia saying, morning, hope you're all well. That's lovely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kick off this show by introducing the manager of Germany, because she's the top of the league, isn't she? Martina Voss Tecklenburg. I think that's how you pronounce it. If I pronounce it wrong, I apologise to all the Germans tuning in, if there is any. Like as a player, she played in midfield, and as a forward, mainly she played for local teams, but she played for KBC Duisburg and FCR 2001 Duisburg. She played 125 times for Germany and scored 27 goals. What a fabulous lady. She's leading her troops into this World Cup with a lot of confidence. And you know what? I think they've got a very good chance, Germany. Tell me what you think about in the chat about the German team, what you know about them. I know my niece, Andrula, she knows a little bit about them because she's already mentioned their star striker, Alexandra Pop. She does pop them in, I'm telling you. She pops them in with her head, normally. You put a cross across to Alexandra Pop and she pops it in, I'm telling you. Right, so basically, I just want to talk about a little bit more about Martina von Tecklenburg and what I found out about her. She's a very astute coach. She's she's a dominating coach as well. She's one of those characters that doesn't take no poo, if you know what I mean, right? She's a strict disciplinarian in the team, and that bodes well for Germany because they've been slacking a bit because they lost to us in the Euros as well. right? All right, they played well, but we played better, and we actually beat them in the Euros. So they've sort of taken a back step, and I think England might, even do better than them. But it remains to be seen, doesn't it? So the main thing is, though, is that she'll gather her troops all together, and she'll give a good account of that team. She'll make sure they all working hard, they all know their jobs, and they all get stuck in. Now, just recently, though, Germany lost a match to Zambia. Obviously, they lost to us as well, but they also lost to Zambia on the 7th of July. That was just a pre-World Cup build-up. So that's not boding well for them, right? And I think they've got a couple of more games before they kick off their World Cup tour. But do you know what? Sometimes it's good to lose in a way, because it bucks up your ideas for the actual tournament, and they're trial and error as well. She's probably looking at a lot of other players that might not make the first 11 just to see how they're going. Just like England when they played Portugal, we fielded a weaker side in the first half, and then we brought out on our big guns, apart from Beth England, which I was very upset about, but I won't go on about that because this is a Germany show, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is how the Germans qualified. Now, what they had a group of 6 teams: Germany, Portugal, Serbia, Turkey, Israel, and Bulgaria. And Germany actually finished top of their group. They played 10 games. They had a goal difference of 42. They won 8 of them, and their points was 27. So that was a fantastic World Cup qualifying group. They are a strong team, and they're one to watch because they've got some fantastic players, young up and coming players as well. Portugal finished second. They played 10, goal difference 17, and they got 22 points. And then Serbia women finished third. The fourth was Turkey with 10 points, Israel with 9 points, and Bulgaria, unfortunately, a minus 36 goal difference. So they were the whipping girls of that group. I don't like to say that, but you have to get it out there, because if you're letting in like a goal difference of minus 36, you're probably like Spurs' defence. They've probably been watching us rather than, say, someone like Man City, where you're going to learn a lot. But we're going to strengthen our defence anyway at Spurs. But, minus 36 with no points, I feel sorry for them in a way. They could have chalked up a point at least. But either way, Germany stormed into the World Cup qualifying, qualified for the tournament really well, So I just feel, to take stock of what they've done in world football, you've got to take your hat off to the Germans, because they always turn up. There's not really many tournaments where they haven't made the quarter-final or the semi-final. So I'm looking forward to watching them play. Not as much as England, obviously, because I'm going to root for our English team. But, they've got some brilliant players. And I just want to talk about some of their star players now. Right, so the main star players in their team are Alexandra Popp, who's a striker, and then they've got young starlet Jewel. I think it's pronounced Julie Brandt, I think. If I've got that wrong, I do apologise. And they're two girls that I'd like to big up, basically because Alexandra Popp, she's been scoring for fun for Germany throughout her career. She's one of those tenacious strikers who never gives up. She's very strong, powerful, tall, really technically gifted on the floor as well as in the air. Sorry, she just scores for fun, and she's one of those players that will lift the team because she's a really good communicator, and she wants the best for her sides. She's like I would liken her in the men's game. I would liken her to someone like John Toshak of Liverpool. I'm going back a few years, but she's that powerful. She's strong, and she gets about. She never gives up as well, which I like in a player. And then you've got young starlet Julie Brand. She's fantastic. She's very versatile as well, because she can play as a central defensive midfielder and as a centre back. So it's good to have players in your team that are really versatile. So I've given them a big up, I hope. So there we go. So like in the chat now, we've got a super chat. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jim and Kate. Big up, Elly. You're a legend. Oh, I'll try to play that down, because you know what? Everybody's a legend in my book on YouTube, because to put out a show, right, takes a lot of hard work, right? And a lot of research. And you know what? Sometimes you want to give your best, right? And sometimes when you come on, you're a bit nervous, you know, but you get into it. The main thing is that you give all the information that's relevant, and also make it entertaining, because people are not going to tune in otherwise. So I really thank you very much for that super chat. That was fantastic. Then we've got Godfrey Drummond saying, yeah, shower in, Mo, watch the rest of the stream, then sleep. Ha ha. Yes, true. Do you know what? Sometimes you have to fit it in, and people that don't catch it live like it is now, they catch it later, and I'll get lots more views. And then I'll do my promotions as well. So hopefully, a lot more people will tune in later. What I want to do now is talk about how Germany qualified as well, their results. So I've got them here. Just bear with me while I get them up. Right. Here we go. Right. Where are they gone? Here we go. So in Group H, they were the winners, as I've said. They won 9, actually. They lost 1. They scored, they had a goal difference of 47. And the first game they kicked off, they played Bulgaria, and they thrashed them 7-0. Fantastic result. 7-0 to win any game. 3 or 4-0 is good enough, but 7-0. Bulgaria took a whipping there. Then the second match they played, it was 5-1 against Serbia. The third game was they played Israel away. They beat them 1-0. And then at home, they actually battered Israel 7-0. Whoa. And then they played Turkey, and they went even better, 8-0 against Turkey. They played Portugal away. They won 3-1. They played Portugal at home 3-0. They played Serbia away, Germany 3-2, yeah. And then they played Turkey away, they won 3-0. And then they battered Bulgaria 8-0 away. Wow, fantastic results there. So they are a force to be reckoned with, Germany. When they come up against better teams, though, they won't be getting those score lines, I'm telling you, especially if they meet us. I'm not sure, because I have to check that World Cup schedule. I keep on saying I'm going to do it, but I will get round to it to see, when you qualify for the last 16. I know England will meet Canada if they go through as well. Like if we finish top and they finish second, that is, I think, or vice versa, we'll meet them. So the main thing is, though, is if Germany do turn up and they play to their strengths, they've got a very good chance of getting to the final. That's one thing for sure. So I'll tell you what, let me know what you think about how they will fare in the chat. What do you think Germany will do? Do you think they'll go all the way, or do you think they'll fall by the wayside? Because, they got to the final in the Euros. So, they've got pedigree as well. And I just feel that they might do it, because they're hurting as well, because we beat them in the Euros. So I think they'll be, going that one better to put themselves out there and stamp their authority. Now, I spoke about these 2 players already, but I also would like to read out their World Cup squad. So let me just get it up for you. Right, just bear with me. So actually, I'll talk a little bit more about Julie Brand, because I've got some more information here about her, because she is one player to watch out for. So Julie Brand, she was born on the 16th of October 2002. She's 20 years old. She was born in Germersheim in Germany. She's 5'10". That's a big height for a woman player. So she's very physical. She's a brilliant defender, and she can also play as a central defensive midfielder. And also she's been touted as a winger as well because of her pace. The thing is with her, she's got so much pace that she can recover. She's not just good at anticipating and tackling, she's brilliant at covering, right? So if the defence are under pressure, she's the one who steps up, you know. So I think you've got to look out for her because she's fantastic. And she plays for the top side in Germany. Like in the men's football, Bayern Munich are dominant, aren't they? You know, they probably win the league 80 or 90% of the time, and they win the cups as well. But in the women's game, Wolfsburg, they're the team. They're VfL Wolfsburg is their full title, right? And they got to the Champions League final this year, but they actually lost to Barcelona, unfortunately for them. But, you know, they are I think they've won the six times they've won the Champions League, I believe. So, you know, they're the top side in Europe when it comes to winning the Champions League. Now, with Julia, I think it says how you pronounce her name somewhere, but I've lost it. But I think it's pronounced Julie's Brunt. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. But the youth career, she played for FC Speyer 09. 2017 she started her career, and then she got a transfer to 1899 Hoffenheim. If Spurs fans tuning in, you probably know that Ryan Sessegnon played for them on loan from our men's team. Just dropping a few names there, right? And then she finished. Well, she hasn't finished her career, but she started her career with VfL Wolfsburg. She's played 8 games for them and scored 1 goal. So she only transferred in 2022, but I think she had an injury because she would have played more games. I just think for Hoffenheim, she played 44 games and scored 8 goals. So not only is she a good defender, she contributes towards goals as well. She's also played at international level at under 16. She played 3 times. She played for the under 17s 9 times, scoring 1 goal. And she's played for the national team 32 times, scoring 7 goals. You know, like as a defender, like she's a central defensive midfielder and a defender. So when you think about it, 7 goals from 32 is fantastic. I think that's a great return. You know, so she's one to watch out for. And then there's another player I'd like to point out is fantastic player. She played brilliant in the Euros as well. I was watching her and admiring every touch she made. And she just gets stuck in. She's like hard as nails, and she'll run forever. And her name is Lena Oberdorf. She's a fantastic player. She plays as a midfielder for Bundesliga Wolfsburg again. All the top players tend to play for that team. And then when they come to England, all the top 3 teams in England pouch them. So we at Spurs don't get much pickings when it comes. They normally go to Arsenal, Man United or Chelsea. And now Man City have shown their face, and even Aston Villa. So we're going to miss out on these star players unless we like you know, improve in the league and get up there with the top 3, you know, then we can start attracting these players. But she's a fantastic player. She plays number 5 for Wolfsburg. Her senior career started off with SGS Essen. She played 36 games, scoring 12 goals. And for Wolfsburg, she's played 47 times, scoring 10 goals. Do you see what I mean? 10 goals in 47 for a defensive midfielder. All right, she might have played on the wing on some of those occasions, but still, that's a fantastic return. And when she's played for the international team as well, she played 14 times for the under-17, scoring 3. And for the national team, the top team, 2019, she made her debut. She scored 3 goals in 38. So she's doing so well, you know, and she really is one to watch, guys and girls. She's absolutely fabulous, you know. So I really want you to, you know, watch out for these 3 star players that I've mentioned: Alexandra Pop, Julie's Brund, and Lena Oberdorf. Sorry. So, what I want to talk about now is right. So the World Cup group, right? I'll get it up now. Just bear with me. Right. Slides. Present. Just bear with me because I'm not really good on this. Present. Okay. Oh, just we'll forget about that, because what I'll do, the World Cup group that Germany are in are they're groups with, let me just get it up. They're groups with Morocco, Colombia, and South Korea. In my opinion, I think that's quite an easy group to get out of. The only ones who are really going to push them really, really hard, I would say, would be South Korea, because they've got a very good team. Morocco are up and coming as well. And Colombia, I don't know too much about them, but, you know, they've not really set the world alight in terms of women's football. But, you know, when it comes to the World Cup, players do step up and individual players can make a difference. So, you know, I wouldn't write anybody off, but I would say Germany would be clear winners of that group. And I think South Korea would probably finish second. I mean, in the chat, you tell me what you think, who you think is going to qualify out of those, you know, even if you don't know a lot about the teams, who you think might qualify out of those groups. And then in the matches they're playing 3 matches. They start off on the 22nd of July, their first game. So I think with Germany's women's team, I think what they need to do is really knuckle down and work hard, and their skill will show, you know, because sometimes the top teams, sometimes when they go on the pitch, sometimes it's not arrogance, it's just like they're overconfident, maybe sometimes, you know, that they're going to win. And you saw it with the men's German team. They didn't qualify. Well, they qualified, but they didn't do well when they got there. So, you know, you've got to go on the pitch with the right attitude and not be too overconfident, and make sure that you're focused. So when you go out on that pitch, that you actually do your best and make your country proud, you know, because there's a lot of players, they freeze, you know, not even the young players, even the more experienced players, they can still freeze, you know, on the day, as the tournament progresses as well, you know, and it gets nearer to the final. You could get a little giddy belly, you know, when you go out on that pitch, you're so nervous and you might not perform to your full capacity, you know, and it does happen to the best of players, I'm telling you. We've seen it in the men's game, we've seen it in the women's game. So, you know, the main thing is, though, is to get out there and do your best, you know. And if you feel like you're too nervous, try and snap out of it. Just I've played in big matches before for Spurs ladies, right? And I've always gone out onto that pitch with confidence, but not overconfidence. And I always look at the other players and see in their eyes if they're scared, you know, and I'll play on that. If there's a particular player I think I can take her, you know, I'll take her on and I'll beat her, you know, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to have confidence, but don't underestimate the opposition. Always have it in the back of your mind, always have it in your brain that you can, you know, come unstuck if you're not focused. That's what I would say. Right, I'm going to go back to the chat now because we've got a few more comments coming in. Right, so let me just go up a little bit more. Right, we've got Drula saying, Jules Bruns, she's versatile. She played in defence and as a winger. Yeah, she played central midfield. I think that's what you mean, Drula. Yeah, you've corrected yourself there. And Chris Agenbar, hello Chris, how's the chicken? That me and Chris go back a long way in the park with the chicken, you know. what lovely chicken he made as well. And he made tons, you know, to feed an army. And there was only about 7 or 8 of us. So we ended up eating the chicken and feeding some to the dogs as well. You know, Chris remembers that very well. We was with Brian Daigle and a lot of other people. It was brilliant that day. We really enjoyed it. Thanks, Chris, for joining me. So Just a Girl Loves Spurs. That'll be Kate and Jim. Morning, Chris. Lovely. Just a Girl Loves Spurs. Hi. And then we got my niece Drula saying the Germans have a great squad. Yes, they do. They really do. Right, so I'm going to go through the squad now. Let me just get them up. Just bear with me. Because what I did, I wrote them down, but that was there was a 28, there was a preliminary 28 woman squad, right, which I wrote down. But then I found that they've actually whittled it down to 23 because you have to. All right, so let me just find that bit and I'll give you the details. But while I'm doing that, right, where are we? Is it here? No, it's not on that one. Just bear with me because I have to find it on my phone. Right, not that one. Here we go. Here it is. So, right, so let me go up. Right, so here we are, the squad. Right, so you're allowed 3 goalkeepers for every squad. So their squad, we've got Anne-Katrine Berger of Chelsea, Mel Froms of Wolfsburg, and Stina Johannes, of Frankfurt. And then in defence, we've got Sarah Dawson of Frankfurt, Marina Hegerin of Wolfsburg, Catherine Hendricks of Wolfsburg, Sophia Kleinhern of Frankfurt, Suzuki Nusken of, I think that's how you pronounce it, of Chelsea, Felicitas Rausch of Wolfsburg. And then in midfield, we've got Sarah Dubritz of Lyon, Chantal Hagel of Hoffenheim, Svenja Huff of Wolfsburg, another fantastic player, I must add. Melanie Leupolz of Chelsea, another, you know, they're littered with brilliant players in midfield, and she plays for Chelsea. Sydney Lohman of Bayern Munich, Lena Magal of Bayern Munich, and Lena Oberdorf, who I've already mentioned, of Wolfsburg. And then up front, we have Nicole Yomi of Frankfurt, Jules Brund of Wolfsburg. You know, I've already mentioned her. She goes without saying. Clara Wall of Bayern, Laura Freigang of Frankfurt, Alexandra Popp of Wolfsburg, and Leah Schuler of Bayern. Now, Leah Schuler, I've got a little bit of details on her. Right, let me just find it. Right, Leah Schuler, what a great player. I couldn't go without mentioning Leah Schuler, you know, because she's a fantastic player. She's got really getting bigged up in Germany as well. She plays for Bayern Munich and she plays for the national team, obviously. She was born on the 12th of November, 1997 in Tonneswurst in Germany. She's 5'8". She plays as a forward and she's the number 11. Her youth career, she started off at Hulser SV and she moved to SGS Essen in 2012 and she played there until 2014. She continued her career into her senior career from 2013 to 2020. She was at SGS Essen. She played 125 games and scored 62 goals. Now take that in, ladies and gentlemen. 62 goals in 125 games. That's absolutely fabulous for any striker in any league, you know, in any country. That's brilliant, right? And then she moved to Bayern Munich. She got a big move to Bayern Munich. She's played 57 times for Bayern Munich. And wait for it, guys and girls, 41 goals. 41 goals in 57 games. That's fantastic. You know, when you've got a player like that in your team, you're more or less guaranteed to win most of your matches, because if she's scoring for fun like that, you know, and then she continued her international career into her international career. She's played, where is her international career? Right, internationally, 47 games, 31 goals. Now, I don't know about you, but any male striker would be proud of that, yet alone a woman striker, you know what I mean? So 31 goals. So she's one to mark. You've got to mark her, otherwise she's going to score a goal. And she's so fast, right? And she's strong, she's powerful, and she's just a tremendous footballer, all-round footballer. She's not just a tremendous striker, she's technically gifted. And she's been lauded up in Germany. And when the World Cup starts and you see this girl playing, you're going to be raving about her like I've just raved about her, I'm telling you, because she won't let her country down, because the stats show it. She's not a let-down girl. She turns up for the big matches. And she won the UEFA Women's Championship. Well, she won silver medal in the Women's Championship with us, but she's won so many personal honours with Bayern Munich, and she's it says here she won her first ever UEFA Champions League appearance in by defending champions Olympic Lyon, I think that means. Some of it's in German, so I do apologise. Right, so yeah, so you know, she's done well in her career so far, and she's only young, you know, so she's one to watch out for. And there's loads of players in the World Cup to watch out for, you know, especially for England. I want to talk a little bit about England now, because I really want Beth England to play as well, because just in the recent warm-up match against Portugal, I was talking to Kate about this as well, and to my niece Drula, that they didn't bring her on. And I was so upset, you know, because she deserves it, because she scored 12 in 12 for us. And she's been playing fabulous. It's not just her goals, it's her assists, her general play, her strength. You know, you need somebody up front to hold the ball up for you as well, and to win the ball back, because she's fantastic at pressing and she's a tenacious player. She'll always get stuck in. And, you know, with Leah Williamson missing, that's a big loss, you know, so we need to replace her goals. And like, we drew 0-0 against Portugal, and we were a little bit woeful up front. Not a little bit, a lot. I'm being nice there. And we looked rusty. And like Beth England, she's had such a good season, and she's on a high. I mean, I liken it to when we were in the blimmin' Champions League and they didn't play Mora. Poch didn't play Mora, and he was on such a high, and we could have done it. You know, it's so upsetting when that happens. Like, I want Beth England to play. So, you know, like, it'll just fill my heart with joy if she plays, because she does deserve it. Anyway, in terms of Germany, let's get back to them as well, because they have got some significant injuries as well. They've got a lady called Giulia Guin. I think that's how you pronounce it. She plays for Bayern Munich. She's actually got an ACL tear. She won Best Young Player in 2019, and she's progressing so well. And then they've got a lady who's pregnant at the moment, Alma Schultz. God, she must be killing her husband for making her pregnant, unless she planned it. But then why would you get pregnant if the World Cup's coming up, you know? Because she had a very good chance of making the squad as well. I just don't get that one. So slap up to her husband, you know what I mean? Right? I mean, it does take two to tango, I must admit. Right? And then we've got a player called Lynn Dolman, and she tore her left anterior ligament. So, you know, these ligament tears and ACL injuries, I know sometimes I go harping on about it, but it really is detriment to the woman's game, because I said it many times, 6 times more chance of suffering that injury, an ACL tear. You know, ligament injury is different, but, you know, the ligaments in the knee, the ACL tear, that is prevalent in the woman's game. So, you know, they got to do something about it. I know they're working hard behind the scenes, all the medical teams, all the sports scientists. And, You know, they're trying their best to help the women, you know, overcome this, because there's so many women, top players as well, missing from the World Cup, you know, and they must be crying in their sleep. Most, like all those women, they must be crying in their sleep because they're missing out on the best tournament ever, you know, and it's just a shame because these women have got so much to offer and they get this massive injury and it takes them out for a whole year. We've seen in the men's game with our Bentancur, it's taken him out and he's not even going to be back until probably October, November or December. That's the September, October is like what he says, but I think the medical team will say wait till about end of November, December for that, because you've got to recover. It's not just to recover, you've got to get up your match fitness and get into training, and then you could injure yourself again, because once you've done it once, it's susceptible again to be done again. So I've seen, what's that guy we were after, Zaniolo, I think he suffered two ACL tears, you know, so lots of women in the women's game, obviously, they've suffered it as well. So there's one woman, I can't remember her name, but I was reading about her the other day. I can't remember her name. She's an English player. She suffered three ACL tears, right? And we had, in Spurs ladies early doors, we lost a striker that we bought from Brighton called Elly Brazil. Brilliant name. Fantastic. You know what? I might even change my name to Elly Brazil, but I'll put it with a Z or an S. Now, I think her one's with a Z. I'd have to put it with an S. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's one of those things they have to work on and really get the medical teams up to speed to help the girls even more, because, you know, it's like, it's damaging for the women's game, you know. And if if there's more ACL tears in the World Cup, you know, that's devastating for those ladies who've trained and worked. They've busted their guts to get recognised and get chosen for their national sides, and then they suffer an injury. That's so bad, so bad. Right, we haven't got any more people in the chat, I don't think, or have we? Oh, yes, we have. Brilliant. So we got Drula saying the Germans have a great squad. I've done that one. Then we've got Lee Statham. First time I'm seeing you, Lee. Welcome to THFC Women Till I Die. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here. Then we've got Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Hi, Lee. Hope you're well. Must be a friend. Yeah. Well done for bringing him in. Right, Drula says, Germany's first game, 24th of July against Morocco. Yeah, that's right. Colombia on the 30th, South Korea on the 3rd of August. That's the group stages. Then if they get through to the last 16, yeah, okay, well done for that, Drula. I did have it on my phone, but sometimes, you know, I'm not the most technical person, right? Lee Statham saying, hi, just a girl who loves Spurs. And Carl Simpson saying, unfortunately, Spurs ladies are the equivalent of playing for Palace men when it comes to the international football. They just don't see us as a top club to bring players into the international squad. You're right, you know, because, Carl, you know, Beth England was an England international at Chelsea. She was a regular, right? And she dropped off when Leah Williamson came into the forefront as well, and Chloe Kelly, and who's the other one? Russo. Yeah, so I think I think you're right, but you know, if you're good enough, right? We've seen it in the men's game. Sometimes, if you're good enough, like Eze, he got picked for England just recently, right, for the men's side. So women can break in from lower teams. And there's a girl in the England squad from Brighton. She's the only one from really the lower teams. So it is harder, I must admit. But if you shine, you're going to get your big money move as well. You know, players like, even in the men's game or the women's game, if you're playing for teams like Palace or Brighton, it's a step up to go to the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Man Uniteds, the Spurses, the Man Cities. You know, it is a step up. You know, even though Spurs ladies had a bad season this season, the prior we finished 5th and we were challenging quite often, like, we were up there. We could have even finished third if we just pushed a bit harder and we helped our team with some key signings. You know, that's another thing, to attract the signings in as well. Like you say, it's harder because they're going to choose the teams that are playing in the Champions League, just like in the men's game. It's like horses for courses. They're going to go to the top sides, you know, and the teams that are winning trophies as well. That's how it works. That's the way of the world, you know. So Spurs, if they want to compete, they have to start winning trophies and get up there. And we've just hired a new head coach, in Robert Villaharm, and we've got a new player called Luana Beulah. So she's a central. She's a central defender. She plays a centre back, and she's very strong. She's very tall as well. So she's going to be one to watch this season. But we need some more signings for sure, you know. And if they're going to break into the international squad, they have to have a fantastic season at Spurs, ladies. But, you know, if they shine, like, you know, we had a few of our players played for England early days, like Drew Spence. She switched to Jamaica now, and Becky Spencer. They both started off with England. So, you know, we've lost them to Jamaica, but, you know, they might have even made the squad, especially Drew Spence. And Becky Spencer, she's an up-and-coming goalie. And now Tinja Corpula has left. She's probably going to be our first-team goalie. Depends on how the manager, Robert, sees her. You know, he's going to size up his squad. But he does need some strengthening, and he needs some more players in. I actually messaged him on Instagram, and he replied. I was so chuffed. I was so overwhelmed. Like, I told him that I'm a former Spurs lady, that I wished him well. I said that I'm Spurs ladies ambassador for her game too. And he messaged me back. I was so overwhelmed by it, you know. I didn't expect a message back. That's why, you know. But Carl, that was a fantastic point you brought up there, you know. And I think what we have to do is make sure that all the players in the lower teams, if you're shining, then the manager, you know, goes to watch these other teams as well. Like Serena Wiegman, she has to go and watch the lower teams as well, not just the better teams who are always challenging. Like the top teams, we know, are Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United. They're always there. But like lately, Man City have been coming into the forefront as well. They finished fourth this year. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. You've got to give other players a chance as well. If they're good enough, it doesn't matter who they play for. Yeah, then we've got Lee Simpson saying, hi, Carl Lee Statham saying, hi, Carl Simpson. And then we've got Carl Simpson saying hello, and Lee Statham saying, how are you, Carl Simpson? Well, let us know, Carl. How are you feeling today? Are you in your comic mood? Here we go. I am good, Lee, just pretending to work. Yeah, same here. I'm pretending to work on THFC till I die. Women. Right. So what I do, I've come to the end of the show now, but thank you very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for the super chat. Just a girl who loves Spurs. And before I sign off, I want to plug my very good friend's channel. Right, so at first, let me just go up here. Where are we? I can't find it now. Right, I think it's down the bottom now. Hold on, just bear with me. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So we have my very good friend Mia. You can find her at https://youtube.com/at Spurs Between the Lines 1. Don't forget the 1. That's my very good friend Mia. And she's been joining us on THFC Till I Die. And she'll be joining me on a few streams, hopefully, very soon. I tapped her up last night, so hopefully she can join me. And my good niece, Drula, I'm sure she's going to join me for a couple of Spurs ladies streams as well, I hope. And then we have my very good friend Kate Boxill with her husband Jim, They're both brilliant people, fantastic, and they've joined Thfc Till I Die. Well, Kate has, and she joins our debate shows very often. So, you know, she's been doing some great content. She's hit over 100 subscribers now. So well done, Kate, doing it for the women. You know what I mean? You know, so keep going, and you can find her at youtube.com at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. You know what? Her channel is fantastic because you tune in. She can do fantastic accents. She talks about life. She talks about this and that, and it makes it very entertaining. So do tune in. Support our ladies in YouTube because, you know, we don't always get the, you know, the big ups like men do, not just on YouTube, in general, in football. So this is a channel that's bigging up women and Spurs ladies as well. I'm bigging them up because we're going to have a fabulous season, I'm sure of it. And, you know, we got to try harder this year to stamp our authority because we played under ourselves last year. And I wish every team in the World Cup, I wish them all well, especially England. Sorry, because I had a bit of frog in my throat. It's all this talking, you know, it gets your throat. Right, so yeah, I wish every World Cup team, World Cup country very well, and I hope England win it. Come on, England, we're going to do it. Come on, the Lionesses. And thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again. Probably Sunday, I'll do another stream. So please do tune in. But before I go, this is going to be me if we win the World Cup. England, come on. Thank you very much, and you take care. Bye-bye.